Americans are losing their mind over the fact that China is nothing like they expected it to be. Wait till you guys find out about Russia and the Middle East. Y'all ain't ready. I just can't wait.
I can't stop crying about the public toilets in China. I can't. Every time I go on that app, I cry because it's not that our money is being so heavily invested in war that we can't eat and house ourselves. It's that our government has made a deliberate choice not to invest in us having a decent quality of life. Like having people have to defecate on the streets and then everyone getting mad about it and then blaming the unhoused people for it because we chose to not invest in people. And then also we can't do something as basic and simple as having public toilets. And by the way, these aren't just stalls of toilets like what we would imagine being here. This is touchscreen toilet displays showing which is full and empty. Imagine the most advanced parking garage in Vegas, but better with air controls inside of them. And we would have the attitude that unhoused people don't deserve that here. We would. I can already hear it. They don't need that. And that's the thing I'm realizing. Our government's just been they don't need those things. They don't need that. Yeah, we could make a car that's 20 years further in advancements than the cars here are with the touchscreens and all that. But you know what? We would rather develop a weapon that can tear somebody into shreds a lot more efficiently. It's disgusting.
The government has been lying to us about China for decades. Now that we've all gotten on Rednote and we can see the lifestyle that all of the Chinese people have, a lot of us Americans are pissed. The price of going out to eat, the price of groceries, public transportation. And the people on Rednote are so flabbergasted that we have to work 2 jobs just to keep our roof over our head. US government, you big time, which is not a surprise because you do it constantly. Even if TikTok gets banned, I've seen enough. I have been woken up. I grew up fed propaganda that China is evil and that they treat their citizens like shit. I mean, I was raised by MAGA. It's the main reason why I feel so radicalized. American culture, American society is toxic, gross, poisonous. They poison our food. They jack the prices up of everything. We don't get health care. We don't get good public transportation, even though we're all on the same continent. We destroy the planet for money, power, and control. Our government is on the left and on the right. Don't get it twisted. This is a class war, and I will not be giving this fight up. We deserve sovereignty and real freedom.
When TikTok was about to face a potential ban in the US, many Americans turned to Xiaohongshu, also known as Rednote, a Chinese social media app. This shift allowed Americans to see different sides of China and its culture. There are numerous conspiracy theories about China. So many people didn't know about what's happening in China. They thought China is still like the way it used to be. But when Americans went to Xiaohongshu or Rednote, they have seen a different side of China they have never seen, mostly on quality of life, groceries, and different, even lifestyle. Imagine seeing a difference in lifestyle. So this is what we're going to discuss today. We have different videos we're going to watch together. Please watch till the end. I'll come back with my commentary.
I've been on Rednote for a few days, and I'm humbled. As an American, I'm very humbled. I don't have that very many followers right now, but just seeing what I've been scrolling through on Rednote, they are far more advanced than we are. Their cities are gorgeous. And I'm talking about the smaller cities, and some people that live in the south of China. This one girl sent me a text of photos of a park, and I'm like, we don't have parks like that. Their parks are far better than ours. And here's the thing, they can afford lots of food. They have affordable cars. Their roads are better than ours. Yeah, we're screwing up. America's really screwing up on a lot of things. Our government has lied. I'm gonna stay on Rednote for a little while to see how it works out. I'm still gonna be posting on TikTok until it gets banned. But seeing how China really is has been very humbling.
I really think America has made a huge mistake when banning this app, because now that we're all on Rednote, we're actually learning that a lot of the crap that they've been talking about China is absolutely not true. We're like, wait a second, you guys have universal healthcare? You don't have to pay for an ambulance when you get picked up to the hospital. You have amazing cars for very low prices. Huawei, the amazing phones they have, are also so much better than iPhones. And all of that is forbidden here. We cannot have any of that. Wait a second, you can walk at night outside and not be afraid? There's no mass unalivings in schools? What? What's that like? And I had someone comment on my Rednote being like, now that you're here, I hope you can see that we're not the beasts that, your news made us seem to be. And I was like, we never thought you guys were. I feel like we always knew it was bullshit. And yeah, no country's perfect. There's a lot of issues everywhere in this world. But it's very interesting. We're learning much more, I think, than they wanted us to know. And I think that's not a very good idea for our government. Also, I'm shocked by how quickly people are picking up Mandarin. Like, I feel like you guys need to teach me, how do I do this as quickly as you? Because it's incredible. Like, Americans from Alabama are now speaking fluent Mandarin in like 3 days.
The more time I spend on Rednote, the more I fully understand low income white eyes. Yes, I also have them. Law school is $800 a year. I have $80,000 in student loan debt for my master's in social work. I looked at a car over there. It's $30,000 and it is possibly the nicest mom car I have ever seen in my life. I am shook.
I'm seeing all over my FYP a bunch of disgruntled Americans regarding how America seems more like a third world country and everything that they learned and knew about China is just not true. So if you're mad about the groceries and that they don't have to pay property tax after they pay off their mortgage, let me tell you that they have better work-life balance than we do. So during my doctorate studies at Johns Hopkins, I was sent over to China to do research with the Center of Disease Control. They do have a CDC as well. There's none of this really super calculated, hey, you take 2 15-minute breaks and a 30-minute lunch if you work 40 hours, but if you work under 20 hours, you don't get a break except for one 15-minute break. It's just weird policies that we have in America. No, they have a lot of freedom to leave work, go get a boba, go get an ice cream, come back. They actually support you taking naps. At the CDC, they used to have these beds for you to go and take a nap if maybe you live too far from work. Otherwise, most people go home during lunch because their lunch hour was 2 hours. 2 hours was their lunch break. Not to mention the majority of the time we were always leaving to do PR and relationships. So social networking is a huge thing over there. Whereas in America, everybody's isolated. You don't even know who your neighbors are, right? You just go straight to your house when you come home from work. But not there. I remember we would meet other government officials during lunch and then they'll gift us big boxes of grapes and of course alcohol, and then their alcohol is 40% alcohol. I'm oh my god, I'm gonna get drunk and throw up. But we were drinking during the day, it was day drinking, daytime drinking. And it was because we were social networking with like these people, right? And this was okay. This was almost applauded. And there's always something to do after work. So you don't just go home and pass out and like, I don't know what else we do. Like, it's so toxic in America, but there's always something. So I just remember like flying LED kites like during the summer, going to the river. Yeah, just there's always like an activity, and that's also why they're so slim and they're so much more healthy, because you easily like, you don't just walk 5 miles, the 10,000 steps that is recommended. Like, you walk like 10 miles a day. It's like just so easy to do. But yeah, they had better work-life balance, and that whole like, oh, them passing out at their desk, working 120 hours. No, bitch. They ain't working 120 hours. I was like given so much liberty and freedom when I was like, and I had my own executive room, which was crazy. They're so polite. They're like, oh, American foreigner, like, let's put her in an executive like room. It was so chill. Like, the majority of us were always like, I think like they were even playing video games during work hours. But I mean, they do work, okay? I want you to think they do work, they get stuff done, but there's just so much liberty. There's none of this like toxic clock in and clock out, and this snitch Nancy that's like watching you and your every move just so she could report you to HR. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have that shit.
When you compare the quality of life between China and the United States, several factors come into play. While the US generally has a higher quality of life index, China has made a significant strides in recent years, where it have developed from a third world country to a first world country. You cannot believe this. Only ask people who visit China, you will see the difference. A little time Americans went to Rednote, they have discovered the difference between their life and the Chinese life. For example, from the cost of living in China is generally lower than in the US, making it more affordable for many to live comfortably. So when Americans sees this, they started crying, because they have seen people are living some good life. So China is more better than the way they are living. For example, China has a higher safety index compared to the other countries, so which can contribute to a sense of security and well-being. And that's what humanity needs, and that's what human needs. They need somewhere safe, somewhere they can be, which is safe. So that will be some of the difference. When it comes to healthcare, both countries have high healthy care index, but the cost of healthcare in the US can be a significant burden for many Americans. Yes, compared to Chinese. For example, I've seen a video where someone is asking, like, when you want to order like an ambulance in China, it's totally different to the US. So people have like realized that China, it's different from us, totally different. So on Rednote, the Americans have seen like the culture difference, where Rednote facilitated a culture exchanges, allowing Americans to learn more about Chinese life and traditions they have never seen. So Rednote have revealed something Americans have never seen, like for example, on a positive experience, many Americans found the app to be welcoming platform. That's a totally different from other apps, but Chinese have welcomed Americans, with Chinese users helping them navigate the app and understand the cultural nuisance, so which attracted Americans. We've seen different stories about what happened at the Rednote, but when you come to the realization of life between these two countries, people busted, people cried for sure. They cried because they have seen different, what they taught. And let me tell you, I don't know if you've seen this story of this the way Chinese kids, where they teach them to write letters in English. So they write to an American friend, imagine. But all those letters have never seen reply. So when these people went to Rednote, they started replying to those Chinese letters, you know. So that's the way they teach English in China. So you write a letter, you just wait for a friend in the US, you tell them, you know, oh, our life is going like this, I'm doing this and this, when you're a kid, when you're young. But when Americans went to Xiaohongshu or Rednote, they have discovered that there is no hate between Chinese and Americans. Right now, they're building the bonds together. So, putting off TikTok have made Americans realize that Chinese love them. Chinese, they don't care about you. They don't care what you're doing. They don't care. They just do their things. Yeah, they do their things. And you can never know what's going on in that country because, you know, there's nothing to show you. Except if you go to Xiaohongshu, that's when you're going to see the real life of Chinese. This experience has led to some Americans reassess their views on China and seeing it as a country with a rich culture and a good quality of life for many of its citizens. That's what they discovered. Because what I can tell you, China have did a great job. They worked so hard to reach on the level you can see. Because when you see the cities of China, man, these are futuristic. They are futuristic cities. These are the cities many big cities are dreaming to build. Mostly from the buildings, from the, you know, so they are futuristic cities, and when you see them, you wonder what is happening. You wonder what's going on. Chinese are building. If you see many YouTubers, many YouTube videos, they're showcasing China. China is gonna be a big country. That's what Americans have realized and come to conclude that China is going to take over. If these other countries don't work hard, don't do something, China is going to take over, man. It has taken over Africa. You know, we have already passed that. China have taken over Africa, and it's going to take over the world. Because of what? Because of their technology, okay? After technology, because they're working hard. They are hard workers in China. They work hard, and they take care of their people, okay? You've seen a video where this lady was crying about public toilets, man. So Chinese take care of their people. That's why when you go into their life, you realize that you are living in a very, very bad life that you're not supposed to live in, you know. So people have never considered moving to China. I believe, I don't know, but it might be a little bit hard. You know, it might be a little bit hard, but China is another country. Yes, we have to put our eyes, because they have been doing their things in the closed doors. They have never showcased themselves to the world, but China is taking over. So we have to know. All right. Thank you so much. Tell me in the comment section if you ever been to China. Have you ever visited China? Have you seen the development of China, whether on the videos, whether on your TV? Tell me in the comment section what you think about what Americans have realized and what they have seen. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. Let's catch up in the next episode. I am Fikazo.